Hello, guys. Welcome to today's afternoon session. That is a New York session where we are going to be navigating the market together. Possible trade opportunity will be taken, and also we will be looking at some current pairs, currency pairs to analyze, and much more. So, please, if this is your first time to join us, I'm Ronnie Weston Gayab, and I'm here to assist you throughout today's program. Please like, share, comment, invite others to join. Give me 1 minute for me to invite others to join us live here on the Forex Facebook and YouTube page. We are going to be starting this program immediately. We have 20 people connected. So, like, share, comment, and invite others to join. Like, share, comment, and invite others to join us. It's going to be a lovely program all together. Okay, 16 people are connected. We are about to start today's program, and something spicy is building up today on the gold and also Bitcoin. Please let me know in the comment section if everything is clear. If you can see my screen clearly, just let me know in the comment section if you can see my screen and if everything is clear at your own end. Hello, good afternoon to you, Romeo. How are you? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to today's afternoon session where we are going to be looking at the New York market and also looking at possible trade opportunity during the session. It's going to be an amazing one altogether, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. If you have any challenge, if you have any trading difficulties that you may want to bring up right here, you just do. I'm here available for you. 17 people connected. Please let me know in the comment section if you can get me clearly and if everything is okay at your own end. Good day to you. Good day to you, Solomon. Good day, Daddy. Uh, Robinson. Good day to everybody. So we're 18. So we have two more people to join for us to kickstart today's program. So like, share, comment, and do not forget to let me know in the comment section from which part of Cameroon you are watching us from. Do not hesitate to let me know from which part of Cameroon that you are watching me from. Okay, guys, let's go. So, while actually working on my chart today, I saw a couple of opportunity, and I think that it's good for me to share this with you. These go with the Bitcoin chart. I know a lot of people might be looking at Bitcoin and the entire crypto market, and it is necessary for us to look at Bitcoin at a greater perspective and looking at the opportunity that Bitcoin chart could be bringing. I saw a very good price action on the Bitcoin chart, which I think is going to be of use to many people out there, or is going to help a lot of people get a clear understanding on what is happening on Bitcoin and the next possible direction for Bitcoin. I saw a couple of students looking for sell opportunity on Bitcoin yesterday, and I had to tell them, hold on. So our first chart of the day will be Bitcoin. So let's look at BTC and what BTC has for us this morning. So looking at the Bitcoin chart, we have this trend line that moves right down here. This trend line has been very dynamic to the Bitcoin market, or it has been a very strong support to the market. And again, we also have an upper trend line that serves as a channeling trend line for this market. So, as a regard, we can see that Bitcoin moves like more in a channel within the past days, and something very great just happened on the Bitcoin chart. What happened here was that we had a break and retest of the trend line, the lower support trend line that you guys are seeing. So here we got a break and retest of the line showing a strong bullish momentum for the Bitcoin chart. This was one of the key reasons Bitcoin went up. That was yesterday. And you guys can see the rejection on that particular trend line was massive. So we saw a break and a retest on the trend line, as you can see. And this is giving a bullish sense for the price of Bitcoin. It gives us a bullish sentiment, even though a lot of people were looking up for a sell. There is a great potential that Bitcoin is going to rally up to the next part of the channel or to the higher part of the channel, as you all can see. So me, I'm looking further for a possible price rally to this upside. That's the update. So that's the first thing I'm actually looking at for Bitcoin. And secondly, there is also something very important I saw on the Bitcoin chart, which was more of a buy to sell candle printing. That occurred on the 1 hour chart. This is the whole candle that I just grabbed from here. And this candle could show you a lot about the Bitcoin price at this price level. This candle is very, very crucial. Here we go. And you see the way price came inside this market or inside this candle, had to react in this candle. Then we saw the market bounce from this level. So the market is actually just consolidating between this price level. And we've had a break and retest as earlier mentioned. And in the area where the break and retest also occur, there was a minor price action from a liquidity week. So as it stands right now, if I'm to take the base of the consolidation and the height of the consolidation, then we should be able to come to something likely to happen. So let's say this is the base of our consolidation, and then let's say this is the height of our consolidation. So definitely on a shorter note, in the next couple of hours, it is more likely to have Bitcoin rally to the upside. So on a shorter note, it is more likely to have Bitcoin rally to the upside from here. So this is something that we should be expecting. So on the shorter note, a bullish Bitcoin is expected to push up to this price level, as you can see. So a buy on Bitcoin is very possible. A buy on Bitcoin is very possible. As you can see here, a strong buy on Bitcoin is quite possible around here. So what are my takes on this? My takes on this is I'm looking for a very safe buy on Bitcoin, understanding that this market is actually just consolidative. There was a sell to buy candle that was created on the 30-minute, and this is it here. This is a point of interest, and the market mitigated inside this point of interest once. I'll keep this other zone up, and I'm going to keep this green line away to create a sense of clarity. So, if the market actually comes back to this zone, I should be able to take a buy position on Bitcoin here. So, going down to the 15-minute and observing price action, I have just one thing to consider here. So, I want to see the price of Bitcoin move down back, possibly inside this POI. And if that happens, I'm going to look for a buy opportunity from this level for Bitcoin. So for those trading Bitcoin, I've always said Bitcoin is not for the newbies. This trend line can be used more of a liquidity zone creation. So those who bought the market because of this trend line should definitely find themselves off this market. As I've earlier told you guys, Bitcoin is a heavy pair. It carries a lot of weight, and every single movement is very heavy. So if you're a beginner and you are just coming to forex, you could avoid stuff like Bitcoin. So as of me, I'm waiting for a sell down here, and I see look for a buy opportunity on Bitcoin from this price level. So that is what I'm thinking right now when it comes to the Bitcoin analytics. So let me know your thought about that. What do you think about the Bitcoin analytics we just did? What is your take on Bitcoin? Let me know your take on Bitcoin. What is your take on Bitcoin? Let me know in the comment section what you think on the Bitcoin chart. Let me know your take on Bitcoin. What do you think on Bitcoin analytics? What's your take on the Bitcoin chart? Let me know in the comment section what you think, please. Okay, so I'm in a buy since Monday around 112,000 FED zones mitigation. That's Daisy. Daisy on is on a buy on Bitcoin that was since Monday around 112 fair value gap area. Okay, I see. Good, good. You can still hold your buy, even though we are going to have a slow market around the area I've just shown you because of the consolidation we have there. Because the consolidation we are having around the area where we are facing now is much more from this basic consolidation here. So Daisy, you are not wrong, but now if you look at from this back here, you are going to notice that we had a couple of consolidation here. The market consolidated a lot from this at this price level. There was so much consolidation from this price level that actually caused the market that gave a resistance zone here. And as the market is struggling to rally, this zone is actually serving as a resistance to market, and that's why we've not have had a free rise or a free fall, anything like that happening here. So bear that in mind that the market is going to be a little bit slow from this price area. This is between 114,000 USD and 115,000 USD. So there is actually a crucial zone that's a crucial zone for Bitcoin from 114,000 USD to 115,000 USD. So we should definitely see a market that is not moving very fast in that area. I hope that makes some sense and brings more clarity to what you are looking at. Je pense que le préférable de patienter pour avoir comment le prix se comporte, va se comporter si effectivement il va repartir chercher le POI avant de monter ou alors il va continuer vers le bas. Ok, c'est bien vrai ce que Salomon dit. Ce serait nécessaire, it would be necessary, ce serait nécessaire d'attendre le prix revenir vers le POI qu'on a vu. Et lorsque ça arrive vers nos POI, et ce serait évident de voir un changement de tendance peut-être avec le graphique de 1 minute. Parce que lorsqu'on parle des analyses, l'analyse c'est juste l'idée. Lorsqu'on analyse, c'est l'idée. Lorsque le prix vient dans notre point d'intérêt, ça devient un setup. Et lorsque le setup est validé parce que il y a un changement de tendance dans notre setup, on a ce qu'on appelle le trade. Et lorsqu'on a le trade, on cherche de l'opportunité dans le trade pour être plus sûr et éliminer les pertes à la fin de la journée. Donc, ce que tu dis est vrai. Et je pense bien que voilà ce qu'on doit faire pour mieux trader. Uh, Thanks, sir. It's well understood. That's good, Daisy. So you are right. There will be a sell and buy following the POI. That's from Christian. It makes sense from the level of Christian. Uh, I'm seeing a fair value gap before the POI. Daddy Robinson says he's seen a fair value gap before the POI on Bitcoin. So let me just check what's saying. Okay, there is a fair value gap normally on the POI. There's a fair value gap, but this fair value gap is not that huge as per volume mitigation, and this fair value gap is not seen on the higher time frame. Let's say on the 30 minutes, the fair value gap is not visible because if you take up this zone like this entire zone, you are going to notice that the fair value gap that Daniel Robinson is talking about is not really visible. So it's not visible on the bigger picture, and on the 15 minutes, it's a tiny zone that really does massive. It's not really that massive. So if you want to consider entering because of that fair value gap, you might put yourself finally in an unstable condition. So I think that's it. So if you have any contribution on the Bitcoin chat, please do let us know. It's very important. Bonsoir à vous, Onana. J'espère que vous allez bien. Euh, si vous voulez on explique quelque chose en français, n'hésitez pas à demander. On va essayer de vous expliquer ce qu'on est en train de faire en français comme en anglais. Donc, si vous avez des difficultés à tout ce qui concerne le trading, n'hésitez pas à poser vos questions parce que c'est une opportunité à nous de partager ce qu'on connaît, de partager notre expérience avec vous, absolument gratuite et tu n'as pas besoin de nous payer. L'objectif de notre programme, en fait, c'est de créer une atmosphère, c'est de créer une zone auquel les traders peuvent venir partager leur vue, leurs difficultés pour qu'on puisse émerger ensemble dans le trading parce que on a vu que dans les dernières années, le trading est devenu quelque chose que presque tout le Camerounais s'investit là-dessus. Et beaucoup de personnes aujourd'hui sont en train d'aller vers le trading. Et je pense bien qu'en créant cette plateforme où Je viendrai chaque jour partager avec vous les analyses et ce que je pense chaque jour, chaque matin, chaque après-midi. Ça nous permettra que beaucoup de personnes se lancent dans le trading rentable en temps réel. Je sais que c'est difficile, mais avec assez de coaching, avec assez de mentorship, avec assez de follow-up, beaucoup d'entre nous vont bénéficier du trading. Le trading est rentable, c'est l'une des activités qu'il faut faire. Maintenant, avec ça, Rio Solomon, absolument patient is okay. That's great. So, so let's go. And the next pair of the day will be gold. So, allons voir le graphique de l'or. L'or est actuellement l'une des analyses qu'on a fait le matin. We did an analytic on gold in the morning and rappelez-vous notre deuxième trigger. On a parlé de notre deuxième trigger à ce qui concerne le graphique de l'or. Et on avait dit que quoi? On avait dit que si le prix de l'or réussit à casser notre trendline vers le bas, on va attendre pour que ça puisse remonter et on a pour avoir une mitigation vers la hausse. Je pense bien voilà ce que nous on avait dit et actuellement et on a dû de voir le prix exactement ce qu'on a dit. If you watch the morning session, we did analytics on gold, and remember what we said. We had two triggers on the gold chart. We had a very verdict analytics, and there was a lot of things we said on the gold chart. We saw the consolidation on gold from a bigger perspective. That was from the, as you can see, and we saw this trend line that gold actually touched, as you are seeing. And after the market touched this trend line, we were like bullish on gold. So, and I will reiterate that fact that we were bullish on gold. I'm going just to delete one or two stuff here so that you can see very well what's going on. We are bullish on gold, and c'est the lien de tendance. This trend line was what we saw here, and I said that I'm not going to go in for. I'm looking for a buy on gold that is going to break above this line for me to go in full force. That's what I said. Now, on a smaller picture, there was a possibility of a pullback. And the possibility of the pullback that we saw was actually being looked upon within a very confined area. And along the line, as I was analyzing the market this afternoon, I saw something very important. I saw a daily candle range. If you can look at what we are having here, you guys are going to notice that Monday candle has created a range. That means where today's candle is actually functioning, it has neither cleared the daily highs or the daily low of this particular candle. And this becomes quite crucial to me. So this is something I noticed. So we are going to go back to what we had in the morning. So we moved down in the morning to a thinner structure. But to me, I know firmly that the daily low could be taken off, then the market will rally to come and break the trend line and then continue to its bullish momentum. Then we had to go down to a more smaller time frame where we saw a trend line that was being created from this price level. This trend line was like this is what we had. This was the trend line that we had. And then on the other hand, we also had a trend line that was moving from the I just want to give it a red and then give it a dotted demarcation. So we had this trend line that actually came from this low, and then this particular trend line as well that left from this high here, then moved to the downside as you can see. So we had these two trend line, and we're looking at the triggers that we're supposed to get from there. We said that if Bitcoin is able to break above this and goes up, a retest will be a good buy. We are in a buying setup, so we're looking further for a buy setup. Within the same time, we are looking for the low of the day, that was the low of yesterday, to be cleared for us to find or to us to get if or to fine tune something very interesting. So we have had a break of the market as we expected in the morning, And now another thing we are seeing here is that the market is actually going back to retest or the trend line he has broken. Now, there is something I want to call your attention upon to check. The 4 hours chart is a main man to consider here when it comes to gold. If the 4 hours chart is unable to close below this green line, then the low of today might not be the one to be cleared. That means the market can go back to the upside. You need to be very careful because I get a lot of people should be taking a shot already, like a break and retest. But now, if at all we don't have the 4 hours chart closes below this line, then we should be in trouble. So if you want to check at this 4 hours candle, we can just map the high here, then map the low to check how many candles already formed or how many candle has been formed already within the 4 hours candle. So we've had one, two, three. So this is the last candle of the 4 hours chart. And this last candle of the 4 hours chart is very crucial. So I will not say that you should aggressively just take a sell as the market is coming back to this structure. You have to be very careful because we need to wait for the closure of this 1 hour candle that will mark the closure of the 4 hours candle. If the closure of the 4 hours candle goes above the green line or above the green trend line, it simply so that is something that you should consider. That is something that you should be looking at, and you don't have to make any error because if you make yeah real the when it comes to forex trading, and let's say that we are going to find ourselves in a profitable cycle. So as I've said, we need to be guided. We don't need to miss out. We don't need to mess up. We need to be guided. And as I've said earlier, ce qu'on est en train de dire actuellement, c'est que quoi? On a dit le matin que l'or pouvait casser cette ligne de tendance verte. Et si ça casse, on ne doit pas entrer agressivement parce que tous ceux qui ont entré agressivement pour un sell actuellement sont en train de pleurer. All those who enter aggressively for a sell, they are currently crying. And we gave a clear instruction telling people not to make any error by going in for an aggressive sell. Anybody that went in for an aggressive sell early this morning should be crying because we said the principles are simple. If I'm able to break through that level, I should be able to retest the level. So après avoir vu ça, je suis en train d'expliquer qu'il y a cette chandelier de 4 heures qui est tellement important et que si à la fin de la journée, aussi à la fin de ces 4 heures, cette chandelier n'arrive pas à fermer hors de cette ligne de tendance verte, ça veut dire que le marché ne va pas vendre. Mais si cette chandelier de 4 heures réussit à fermer là, en bas de cette ligne de tendance, ça veut dire que le marché peut vendre pour venir balayer la liquidité qui se trouve ici en bas de cette chandelier de hier. Donc, entre-temps, on est sur le graphique de 15 minutes. Vous voyez comment on a un pullback. Et entre-temps, malgré cette pullback, j'ai aussi vu quelque chose de tellement important. On a vu cette zone consolidative que s'y a créée dans cette structure. Ça peut aussi créer que, ça peut aussi se fait que le marché s'y peut revenir, mitiguer pas seulement le trend line, mais ça peut balayer hors de cette trend-line pour venir balayer ici au milieu. Écoutez-moi très bien et attentivement. Si le marché ci a la et ça revient dans cette structure-ci, dans cette base-ci, on ne doit pas entrer un seul ici, jamais dans la vie. On va attendre pour que le marché ressorte de cette zone. Lorsque ça va ressortir, when the market will come out from this zone, that's where you take a trade. You'll be more sure that this trade will go your direction. So you will not just going to react automatically like a robot. I've said that these are the expectation when it comes to the price of gold. We can map this as a point of interest POI. And I'm saying that if at all, if this market, because this a lot of people are going to take a shot on this trend line here, but I've said I cannot just take a shot on this trend line because I know that liquidity can be cleared above this. That is one thing. Second thing, it will be interesting for me to know the fate of the 4 hours candle before I make crucial decisions. So it will be important for me to wait for the closure of the 4 hour candles to make a vital decision so I don't lose my money. Secondly, on the 1 hours chart, this 1 hour chart could actually make the fate of the 4 hours candle, and a mitigation inside this base here is very possible. After creating a sense of liquidity on the trend line, a massive candle can push up into the base. So we are going to also observe the size of the candle that is going to push into the base. If the size of the candle that is going to push to the base is massive, is strong, then it will show a sense of institutional involvement in this price action. I hope that makes sense. Shows of afternoon, so that network is still clear now. Mm. We have a lot of people watching, and the program is getting interesting day on day by. Thank you guys for actually plugging in all the time to follow up. The massive rejection on the 4 hours chart time frame, which portray a hammer candle, clearly indicate a buy on gold. That's great. What you're saying, you're totally right. That's why I said the closure of the 4 hours candle is going to tell us if this market can go down to clear the daily liquidity or not, or if this market is just going to rally to the upside. So it's very crucial. The waiting for the end of the closure or the closure of the 4 hours candle is very crucial based on what we are proposing. Okay, that makes sense. So please, guys, let me know in the comment section what's your takes on that. We've been able to talk about Bitcoin, and we are going to be heading forward to the DXY chart. We are not going to stay that long during this afternoon session because I'm not feeling that fine, and I feel exhausted. I should have a beginning of malaria, but I'm taking treatment for that, so I'm not feeling that strong. So I feel a little bit exhausted, but I will have to touch what we have to touch to help better the trade of today. So DXY is on the radar. DXY is on the radar. DXY is the guy that is going to determine the next market direction for Euro USD and GBP USD. It is very crucial for the price of Bitcoin as well. The dollar index is something very interesting to look upon. And what we can say today is that we can go back on the concept of the trend line that actually caused a stop for the sell that we're seeing on the DXY. So we saw this trend line that actually stopped the market from falling, and the market actually is struggling to get a recovery. And if we are to get a recovery from here, we are expecting the markets to at least touch the local resistance that was broken, and the market has been able to touch inside the local resistance, and this is the main reason that we are seeing a pushback on the dollar index within the past few days. So here we are on the daily time frame, and on the daily time frame we are going to break down this chart a little bit more to get a handful of information from here. When this market was going to the downside, it was crucial for us to use a trend line, or we could use a trend line like this one to demarcate price movement and the quality of market displacement from this level. And using this trend line, we can now see clearly how the market had to break and retest the trend line and give a massive push to the upside. So that is a trend line, the green dotted trend line. I will just put it a red color to demarcate and give it more clarity for everybody to be able to see what we are working on here. So this is a red trend line. This is a trend line that was guiding the dollar index to the downside. This trend line was broken. It was a simple trading technique, no complication, no ICT, no heartbreaking, no disturbance. The market actually saw a phase of a confluence, and it was a determination for a trend change. We saw the market actually touching this bullish engulfing here, and this has been very dynamic to the market. Looking forward to how price has been moving to the upside, it is clear for me and you to take a good look at the current price movement on the dollar index since the touch of the trend line. We saw the market rally from this price level, and I will be considering to use variant market analytical method to determine one or two things on this chart. Donc, ici, on peut utiliser. So here, for example, we can use market structure to see exactly what has been happening on the at the level of Bitcoin. So we have a very strong zone here. So the market had to rally to create the first impulse, and there was a correction to that impulse, and the market actually pulled back to get a correction, and a new impulse was created. So we are actually within the last impulse, and within the last impulse, here we get the last impulse. So the last impulse has been this market that moves up. So we are waiting definitely for a correction. So we can actually take this wave to a smaller picture. But before going to a smaller picture, there is a fair value gap. So there is a fair value gap that has been created from this price level. There's a fair value gap that has been created from this price level. As you can see, this is a fair value gap that has been created here. This is a fair value gap. So this fair value gap, we can actually demarcate it. Fair value gap demarcated. So we have this. So this is what we are looking at. This huge fair value gap here. It makes sense, a lot of sense around this price level. So the XY tapping into this fair value gap could be very crucial. You get it? Could be very crucial. So I think we should consider that. And moving further, we can actually break down this analytics to a smaller picture. That is breaking down this to a smaller picture. And if we are to break down this analytics, we can find something very interesting forming on the smaller time frame. And what we saw is we're seeing a consolidative zone that has created a zone low. For the consolidation, I'm going to give it a let's say a black color to demarcate it from the other market structure we did. So we have the height of this consolidation here. So this has been like a stoppage to price from continuing its movement to the downside. So this is what we have. So market is actually slowing after NFP. There has been low volume injection for USD Japanese yen. The we are seeing how the market volume was quite low for that for that. And we want to do here, or what we want to see here, is we want to see what is going to be happening to um, want to see what is going to be happening to the market from this level. So that small consolidation here is very crucial. It's holding up price. It's actually holding price, and there can be so much liquidity hanging here that the market can grab. So this is it. So the market can grab this liquidity. So there is a great potential that we can see this guy move to the upside, clear this liquidity, tap here, then rally to the upside. That's something I'm looking forward for. So this is for, we are still in the low volume range for DXY. So in that regard, we don't have neither a very huge volume impact in the market. So in the next couple of days, we should be expecting that. And for that sense, we are also going to have a look on Euro USD, And if that is to happen on Euro USD, then I think Euro USD, because if we should have a continued rally for Euro USD, then we should have a continued drop for that is EU and GU. And in our yesterday reviewed or analytics, we were very smart to actually show up this trend line that actually passed here for Euro USD. The trend line was very solid, and we said that there's a possible touch on this trend line if the market actually goes back. So normally this is what we're looking at, a break and retest of our trend line for Euro USD. And this is just what we were looking at yesterday. But unfortunately, we saw the market not going to that as easy as we were thinking. So we saw two things happening right here. So the first thing that we saw happening here was this consolidation that is being drawn from the back, as well as the same thing we saw in the case of the DXY. So this consolidation is just like a reflection of the consolidation that happened before, and there is so much liquidity also lying just above here. So if the market can actually take off this liquidity, then grabbing up a momentum to the upside to give us a break and retest on this structure, then that would be the best move for Euro USD in the next couple of for the next couple of weeks. So I think it's going to give us a strong market sentiment in the next couple of weeks. So expectations are simple. If we can have a break above here and we can have this, that will be very much likely to give us a good market profitability. So the same thing slightly applies to GBUSD. I'm a little bit exhausted, so I will not be able to push that through to the end of the life. So I think already we've touched a couple of pairs and we've listed. We might not be able to solve people's problem during this particular life. We might do it at the end of the day, probably tomorrow session we can solve problems. But we've updated you on a couple of pairs, and I'll be giving you GU as a homework. I want you to also go put your analytics on GU and tell us exactly what you think might be happening on GU. And believe me, let's see exactly what's going to happen. And I think a lot of people will be able to apply what we've been able to share here to improve on the way they look at the market. So before I go, I will have to check back to the goal chart and then give again my last say on goal before I am going. So that's is it on the goal chart, and we can actually fin down to the 15 minutes, and you can see, as I've said, don't be fooled by just taking a quick reaction on this trend line. You might be grabbed, you might be destroyed. So it is best for you to wait for the closure of the 1 hour chart, which is also going to make the closure of the 4 hours chart. And if that closes within the stuff, then this market was just a liquidity clearance and a bullish gold can be seen. That is the last take on gold. I want to wish you all an excellent trading day. Have a beautiful trading day ahead of time. If you have any problem, please you don't hesitate to bring it in the group so that we can actually solve it. Please, if you don't belong to the Bell Forex community, do well to do belong to the Bell Forex community. There is a link in the live description where you can actually join our 30 days trading challenge at $0. So do well to take advantage of all the opportunity we bring to you on daily basis. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye bye.